Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Round number 5, DRT. I'm your host, Billy, as well as AJ. Back. Took the week off last week. Missed a decent one at Weedsport. Back for Lernerville.
Back for Lernerville. First time in Pennsylvania for the DRT. Pennsylvania boys are always very proud of their racetracks. Got a couple of them in the lineup here tonight as I'm looking at the list of drivers that will be participating in the Keystone Clash. Looking like a quality group of guys, and some of them going to be going for that hometown pride. You always have that the invading outlaws and the PA posse, and you're going to see some of that here tonight, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's, as we keep going with more and more throughout the iRacing service, it keeps growing. More and more leagues popping up all the time, and car count tonight, quality of drivers we've got, pretty stout. Cole Cabray's back. Cameron Merriman, he's making his first appearance. So Cameron Merriman ran the World of Outlaw Pro Series and actually led the points deal for for a little bit in that. So runs up front in all the leagues that he races. So yeah, got a good quality field tonight. And Lernerville is always a very interesting place. Got a couple of different things we're going to do format wise as far as the way the track prep goes to try to get a little bit more off the bottom, we should say, come feature time. So looking forward to it. As I know they're getting ready to wind down and start letting practice go. But last week had a little bit of a shuffle here in the points. We'll take a quick peek at that. John Batista still your leader. Won the first opening round at Volusia, but just been very, very consistent. Got 4 top 10s so far. Hasn't been out of the top 10 at all, but getting chased down by Kevin Click and Michael Sheridan. So gonna be a tight points battle. But as of right now, we've got a few guys that are not in the field currently. So definitely the top 10 is going to get shaken up as well, big time tonight.
Well, we talked about that, being this, it's a league format. We're used to leagues on iRacing where not all the drivers can run every week. People have things going on in life, and then they also have other leagues that they run, and then, there's all kinds of factors that come into play. And it is the drivers that hit every race and do so consistently that typically find themselves up front in the points battle at the end of the season, and that's part of that pride in that league, the drivers showing up and competing against the best of the best. And a guy like Mr. John Batista has been doing that so far this season. Kevin Click, I believe, been in every one of these deals. So that's it says something about their caliber that they find themselves in the feature every week as well, because we've seen some very high quality fields, and these guys are in the mix every single time. And it looks like we're going to go practicing.
Yeah, it looks like we are getting ready to go here as we'll bring everything up here for you. William Hobart rolling out onto the racetrack. Swindell Speed Lab driver Rusty Kruger in the house tonight, so he's currently setting the bar. But just a short, quick practice session. But yeah, it's even if we're a little light on cars, as of we still got a full field of cars as of right now, and should be a good night of racing. Lernerville races extremely well. I know there's a lot of guys that love this place. Some love it, some don't really care for it all that much. But it's definitely one of my favorites to drive. Maybe not necessarily to race because I don't have much luck, but be a good show nonetheless. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think what's cool about Lernerville, of course, this is the only track that has the berm, no exterior wall around the majority of this race course, and that brings an added element of danger when you are, as you see Jeffrey Stewart going over the berm right there, when you are on the edge trying to find that quick line around this joint. not only can you find yourself in trouble, but you could find yourself completely ruined. So, you have to always be aware of that, but at the same time, you have to get maximum time out of every lap. And one thing I think that's interesting about this track is the more people run over the berm, the less cushion there is to keep you from going over the berm. So we've got to keep an eye on that. This track will change as people have problems as well.
Yeah, we'll take a quick look at Michael Sheridan. He was your quickest in practice, Brent Mark's sim team driver. So we'll take a look around where he's planning on running. He goes to the bottom of the racetrack down in 1 and 2, which I think is optimal, but you pretty much have to be up around the fence in 3 and 4. This place, well, he proven me wrong, running right through the middle.
I'm watching Dustin Griffiths, who goes to an early pole lap but knocked off quickly. He was on the top side of the racetrack on both ends, currently sitting in 6th. You can see Sheridan with a 12.461 has taken over the top spot. He will not better that lap on lap number 2. Yeah, and
Landis,
another driver. And if I'm not mistaken, Landis got 1 lap in and then probably got into trouble on lap 2 because he has cleared to the pits as well. So, we got a new quick time, Cameron Merriman, 12.441.
Yeah, matching Tyson Landis, so they're equal. And John Batista.
He went quicker on lap 2, 12.357 for Cameron Merriman. He is going to clear the entire field by almost a 10th.
There is your final qualifier out onto the racetrack, and it looks like Mark Broderick went over the berm. So as we see him coming back up to finish his qualifying lap before we get into heat races for the evening. But Broderick's first race in the DRT this year.
Hey, Broderick is no slouch, typically known for his flat track prowess, but he will be very quick here tonight at Lernerville as well. Cole Cabre was the guy that came home in second, 12.400, so cutting that time down on Mr. Cameron Merriman. But it is Cameron Merriman who will set quick time here tonight, and that's going to earn him the 6th starting position in heat race number 1, which is getting ready to push off right now.
Yeah, and looks like we got just 24 cars, enough for a full field, so everybody's going to make the show, it looks like, as of right now. But not necessarily a bad thing. You still got to race for the top 4 spots because that'll put you into the dash. So, you could go from the 3rd or 4th row up to the front row. So, gotta take care of yourself there. Track's going to be super fast. Again, a little bit light on car count, so therefore track's going to be a lot faster than what these guys are used to. We've been seeing really slick racetracks over the last couple of weeks. But this should be a pretty interesting one. Starting grid, Rusty Kruger on the pole. He hits the invert just right. Swindell Speed Lab driver out of Loomis, California, with Peyton Grease to his outside. Braden Eiler in the 5 car will roll off in 3rd. Kevin Click in the 25 from Ontario, Ohio in 4th. Dan Zagers in 5th. And then Cameron Merriman, like AJ was saying, your fastest qualifier on the night. He will roll off in the 6th spot. Weston Newell, Big Slick, rolls off in 7th. And then George Wood rounds out your field in 8th.
It's a tough heat.
Yeah, there's not
there's no holes
in there.
No holes in this.
No, none at all. This is one of the. They're all tough fields anymore. Everybody on the iRacing surface really does a pretty fantastic job speed-wise anymore. There's the gap between a super fast guy and a mid-pack guy is so tight. We see that, we've seen that the last 4 rounds of this, where a 10th could be 20 cars. So just missing the line by a tiny, tiny amount, that makes up a big difference.
Yeah, we'll take a look through this field and we talk about the guy starting in 5th. We know a lot about him because we run on the same team as him. Daniel Zegers has had some pretty good runs here with the DRT. He's landed himself a heat race win for sure. This is a guy that was a road course racer on iRacing doing some pavement stuff. decided to go dirt racing, and he has proven himself to be quite adept at doing so. So he was the second quickest qualifier here in this heat race, so we got to keep an eye on him and Merriman coming from that row number 3. Rusty Kruger and Peyton Grease going to give us green here for heat race number 1. Keystone Clash underway. Kruger gets to turn 1 first and powers ahead quite well.
Yeah, Kevin Click moving up from the 4th spot, or trying to. Eiler, big move along the bottom, but here comes
problems! Peyton Grease into the fence coming out of turn number 4.
Clear stuff, clear ahead.
We'll go back, and that's exactly what we were talking about, was that cushion gets real thin and almost flattens out. We'll go back and watch this in instant replay here.
And he didn't lose it by much, but that was all that it took.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot just to miss it, and right row slips, bottoms the car out, that's all she wrote. We'll, let's go on board with Peyton right there. That's all it takes. Easy place to make a mistake. So, unfortunate set of circumstances for Peyton. We go back live as we are still under caution. Rusty Kruger leading the field.
Kevin Click settling into second here for the restart. You can see Cameron Merriman up to third. He's going to earn his dash redraw. You know, as we said, 24 cars here tonight. Everybody's going to make the show, but you still have to determine who is going to start up front. So the dash is just as important as any other week. And right now it is Braden Eiler in the 4th and final transfer spot with his teammate Zegers and Newell right behind him.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, right now, as it sits with 3 heat races, Merriman would end up normally in normal circumstances starting 9th. He could move himself he'll automatically put himself at least up a couple of rows, and then could potentially put himself on the pole by winning the dash. So very important, especially Eiler is the guy you've got to really kind of pay attention to, because he's the one, as the green comes back out, that he's really got to get to.
Oh my goodness! Merriman and Eiler over the edge! That brings Zegers and Newell into the top 4. The 2 favorites from heat race number 1 over the cushion.
And we're still green. The only time the yellow is really going to come out for those wrecks is off of turn number 4. So this changes absolutely everything. Kevin Click all over the rear bumper of Rusty Kruger, trying to put himself into the dash.
The feature just got so much better because 2 of the best drivers in the field, 2 drivers with World Championship licenses, will be starting at the rear of this field, and will have to come through a lot of really good drivers to have a shot at the win here tonight in the Keystone Clash. Now, Rusty Kruger out front, Kevin Click trying to run a little higher line there in 1 and 2, but all of them up on the cushion there in 3 and 4. It is Daniel Zegers behind them in 3rd place. Weston Newell is trying to chase him down. 5th place, George Wood, quite a ways back, so no danger at the moment until Zegers got a little crossed up on the cushion. Newell has made his way around, and we got contact for the lead! Rusty Kruger off the backstretch. Here comes George Wood. Oh my goodness, they're coming to the white flag. And look at Eiler. Eiler charging as well, but these drivers running out of time. George Wood in the 4th and final transfer spot has 2 more corners to make his way into tonight's feature in the transfers. And there you have it. Kevin Click, your winner.
Wow.
Weston Newell in 2nd, Daniel Zegers 3rd, and George Wood in the 4th and final transfer. What a fantastic heat race number 1. And I think we got to talk about that, Billy. We were mentioning the fact that as drivers go over the cushion, it kills that cushion. It takes that berm away and then makes it possible to have more people going over the cushion like that. And I think that's what we saw bite Merriman and Eiler, because we've seen so many guys go over the top, and that cushion just doesn't have a lot there to hold these cars.
Yeah, this is Boy, the feature just got a lot weirder. that's and mistakes that you don't see from guys. We're gonna have to see the ruling on of what happens, what the contact was like, and all that sort of thing. But yeah, you gotta have your tough. Your heart has to go out to Rusty Kruger there, leading the whole entire heat race, just to have it really thrown away. He was sitting definitely in the top 3 rows of the feature. Now he's going to have to come from the middle of the field at best. So,
did you get a good look at that incident there? We know Click and Kruger were running pretty close with each other. I'm pretty sure there was contact.
Yeah, there was contact. It was just one of those unfortunate instances. I think I'm not really sure. I didn't get a good enough look at it to really tell. But heat number 2 out on the racetrack right now. Again, another good heat race. Michael Heilman on your pole sitter, William Rocky, Jeremy Zarfos. He's actually in the 10 car tonight. That car will be getting debuted here soon, and with another driver in it that likes yellow in the number 10. So good to see him back as well. Michael Sheridan outside the second row. Dustin Griffiths and Cole Cabre, your 2 quickest qualifiers, with William Hobart and Mark Broderick rounding out the field from King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. And I actually looked it up to make sure that I wasn't getting screwed with. That's an actual place.
Well, we've got another really tough heat race here in heat race number 2. We are going to go green off of turn number 4. Great start by Michael Heilman. Gets a good jump on the field. He's going to be followed by Jeremy Zarfos in second. Dustin Griffiths looking to have his first good week of DRT action here. Getting a slide job in on Rocky. They're 3 wide behind him as Cole Cabre tries to come forward in this field. Broderick, Rocky over the edge there in turn number 1. Broderick now settling into 5th and setting his sights on that 4th and final transfer. Boy, look at Dustin Griffiths.
Dustin has had a rough go about things, and
it's not over! Wow, Griffiths, blessed by the iRacing gods, gets a ghost there as Cabre puts the slider in. I think it was the problem that Zarfos had on the top that ghosted the 9 car of Griffiths, and for the first time this season, the Dustin Griffiths machine has caught a break.
And Mark Broderick from the tail of the field up into the 4th spot. Oh, and we may have talked too soon as he almost goes over the berm.
Announcer's curse there, falling back into the clutches of Michael Heilman, who has lost positions but stayed alive in this race. He's got Sheridan behind him. Of course, Sheridan was very quick in practice and qualifications, struggling to get into that top 4 right now, however. Dustin Griffiths, after his bout of good luck there, has set sail and put some time there on second place. He's got half a straightaway advantage into turn number 3. You can see the line is starting to get lower on this racetrack as these drivers, still a lot of moisture out there for them to do battle. We're going to come to the white flag this time by it is Griffiths, Cabre, Zarfos, and in 4th right now it is Michael Sheridan. So big changes there. Sheridan found his way into the 4th and final transfer, and that is where he will stay. Dustin Griffiths going to take victory in heat race number 2. Cole Cabre, Zarfos, and Sheridan rounding out your top 4.
That was another wild one, but congrats, Dustin Griffiths, finally putting it together. So far, at least, in the program. So good job to Dustin putting himself into the dash.
So we have a late connection here by a one James Edens, who has made his way into the lobby. I do not see him on track here.
Yeah,
for the 3rd heat race. I don't know if he's going to be able to race or not.
Yeah, it's the way that it is. It's kind of goofy. If he didn't get in before qualifying ended, it'll still allow you into the server. So hopefully we can we'll be able to see him run. But the way that the format is, I'm not sure he'll be able to. As heat race number 3 is rolling onto the racetrack, we'll take a look at your starting grid Corey Pritchett from Billings, Montana rolls off from the pole with Jeffrey Stewart, the Milford Missile, to his outside. Andrew May and John Batista, your points leader, rolling off in fourth. Craig Dunn from Queensland, Australia, the pole sitter for the Seminole Skirmish, rolls off in fifth. Tyson Landis, also top 10 in points, in sixth, so he is your fastest qualifier in this heat race. Arthur Kilburn and Jason Randolph round out your field.
Keep an eye on that 4 car on track. He's listed as 47 on our timing and scoring, but Jason Randolph has been a driver that has been very tough in every DRT race so far. He's always found his way into the feature and into some of these high stakes battles, so I would very much expect him to not end up finishing in that 8th spot there.
Well, and we're actually getting word from Peyton Breeze, who is in chat, who was in the first heat, that James Edens was put into that first heat race. So we may actually have a B main here. Green flag is out, though, on heat race number 3. Pritchett with a good jump.
Pritchett waiting for that green light to get it going, but it's worked out for him so far. Jeffrey Stewart is the guy that's giving chase. John Batista on the cushion, going to try to put a move on these two guys as they all three go into turn 1. Stewart with the big slide job. He's going to hit the cushion off of turn number 2. Can he hold the lead? He cannot, but he makes contact with Batista. Ooh, Stewart able to keep it on track, but then Landis making contact with him as well. Those guys finally get it straightened out, but everybody crossed up, lost a lot of positions.
Yeah,
it is.
Craig Dunn was the man on the mission there. He went into the 4th spot through all that melee. Him and Batista are really doing their best to try to put themselves into the dash, but Corey Pritchett doing a heck of a job out front, holding off the Pro Series driver John Batista. But here comes Tyson Landis, who ate his Wheaties. Tracked down Dunn and is on the move.
Pritchett wheeling that car out front, but the Wolves are coming. John Batista off of turn number 4 is going to take the lead. Andrew May trying to find his way around as well. Landis moving forward. Those are your 4 drivers in the transfer spots right now. Craig Dunn coming forward to do battle with these guys. Landis, big slider into turn 1. He's going to stop up into May. Oh, man. That puts Craig Dunn into the transfer spot. May back to 5th now.
Well, and Landis, that was him chasing those boys down and getting back into the top 4. That puts him back into the dash if he can finish there. We've only got 2 to go.
Yeah, Landis, nothing malicious about that slide job, but it seemed like Landis really slowed down there off of turn number 2 and caught May off guard. Now May forced to give chase to the 57 of Dunn. Pritchett getting a little crossed up there. Landis trying to stay off of him. That brings those guys together. White flag is out. Out front, John Batista is going to take victory in this race. Here comes Landis, Pritchett, and Dunn down to the line off of turn number 4. Dunn's going to take 3rd place, and Pritchett comes home in the 4th and final transfer.
Yeah, so we're going to have to see how this works out now with the old B main, because we may be sending 1 car home. We will see, and it looks like...
I'm showing a C here.
Oh, we may... And this may be the format glitch that we were talking about.
Well, here's the thing. It looks like we are going to have a 6-car C main, 12 laps. 4 cars will transfer into tonight's B main. So we will send 2 drivers home from the C, and I would imagine that everybody will transfer from the B main.
Yeah, and that's just the unfortunate circumstances of the iRacing servers not being able to adjust that on the fly. You have to set it for per car counts. You have to set it per car count, so it's really, really hard. Really hard to make it as user friendly as possible. So yeah, we are going to send 2 guys home from the C feature this evening, but the track is actually looking in really good shape. Your starting grid for the C will be Mark Broderick on the pole from the Brent Mark Sim team, with Jason Randolph to his outside, Peyton Breeze Your outside pole sitter, heat race number 1, William Rocky in the 4th spot. Arthur Kilburn, and then the James Edens, who we have not seen, will be rolling off in the 6th position. So, pretty wild turn of events here. So, we're going to get ready to go green next time by.
This will be a good race here. Rocky and Grease both had problems there in their heat races. Arthur Kilburn, we saw him parked to the outside of turn 4 on the final lap of his heat race. So those guys have to come forward. James Edens, no laps here tonight on this track, but we can fully expect him to make his way forward. He is one of the best drivers on the sim. And it is going to be Mark Broderick to lead us down. 12 lap C main underway. He's got a great start on Randolph. Grease into the grass there on the bottom side. He's going to slide up behind William Rocky. And let's keep an eye on James Edens, who has already made his way around one car and is coming forward. Grease, another slider into the grass, utilizing that line. Not working for him as of yet. He and Rocky side by side off of turn number 4 there. Those are the two drivers in the transfer positions right now. Edens stalking them, however. James Edens, of course, winner at this racetrack in the Pro League earlier this year. He's a driver that likes this place to get very slick. Problems for Peyton Grease, and that allows Edens around the 92. Now Peyton out of the transfer position and has to recover.
Yeah, the battle is for 4th right now. James Edens has it. Peyton Grease wants it. It's going to come down to the last few laps here. We've got 6 to go, so we're halfway. James Edens currently in the currently into the B main, but Peyton's stalking him around the top side.
He's not going away. Peyton up on the cushion, utilizing all of that moisture that is still there, as Edens more working the lower to middle line. And William Rocky is another driver that's got to get up on his horse, because he's got 2 guys bearing down on him, and he slips off of turn number 4. That is not what he wanted. That's going to give Edens a look on the outside, and now Grease can see the promised land. Peyton Grease bearing down on the 71. He's right on the rim, risking the danger of going over the top, but he has caught the 4th place driver, William Rocky. More contact between those drivers. I don't think they like each other very much right now, but Peyton Grease trying to put himself into this race. The 92 car working on the 71. Rocky is having all kinds of problems off of turn number 2. Here comes Grease with a big slide job. He's going to get around Rocky, who does the over-under. 2 laps left. Grease over. He hit the rut going into turn 1. He's gone over the berm, and that is Peyton Grease's chances going up in smoke. Now for the race lead, Mark Broderick and Jason Randolph were side by side down the front stretch. They're going to do the same down the back. Randolph has taken the lead, and now Broderick's over! Rick, Arthur Kilburn coming in, Rocky coming in. Wow, Broderick able to recover there.
Whoa. Broderick made that a little bit more exciting than he wanted to, if I had to assume. So wow.
Yeah, I think his idea there, Randolph got around him and he thought, well, I'm just going to kind of ease my way in here because I know I've got a spot in the race. And I don't know if that caught him out of his rhythm, because all of a sudden he was over the berm, and that was definitely a hair-raising experience there for just a moment.
Yeah, Peyton in chat already saying he hates this place with a burning passion. Peyton, you did all right. It's hard. I know you've not been on the service for a while. Peyton's been off in real sprint car land working on cars all summer, and actually part of the track record holder team, or the feature winner team, with Bernie Indy Race Parts. So Peyton will be back, I am fully sure, but we're going for the B feature, where it looks like, AJ, can you confirm that everybody's going to transfer out of this?
Everybody will transfer from this race. I am showing 11 cars and 12 will move into the race. Like we said, I think we had 25 cars. Not sure why the C-Main took 2 drivers out, but it did. So it looks like we're going to have a field of 23 here tonight.
In which
And,
for
and
points and for point scoring services are for all intents and purposes, fifth place in the C will be paying 24th place starting points due to the glitch. Doesn't really fix it, but unfortunately is what we're dealt with. But
it is what it is at this point. And yeah, here we are going to set the lineup from 13th to 23rd right here in this race. Kruger, Hobart, May, Eiler, Heileman, Stewart, Merriman, Randolph, Edens, Rocky, and Broderick. No danger of missing the race, but 12 laps to decide who starts 13th and who starts 23rd, which is a huge difference when we get to the end of tonight's feature. Rusty Kruger going to give him green here off of turn number 4. Great start for Kruger once more. William Hobart dropping back, but powering out of turn number 2. He is 4th behind May here. You see everybody utilizing that high line. You know, while we're doing this, we should talk. Eiler, of course, powering to the top side, looking for the race lead around Rusty Kruger. Braden Eiler making it work here in the early going. We wanted to talk just for a moment about what bit Peyton Grease for anybody that's not turned laps at the Lernerville Speedway. Oh, Kruger over the berm as I'm talking. Problems for Rusty Kruger. He's going to go straight to the back there. As we see, there's multiple lines that drivers will utilize in turn number 1 and 2. And those guys that get that early turn in and try to hook the bottom, they throw dirt up on the wall there on the entry of turn 1. That dirt builds up, and for somebody utilizing the cushion, the high line going into turn 1, they will run over a small mound of dirt there entering turn 1, and it can really upset these cars. Something that we see at Weedsport as well, Billy.
yeah, and we just saw William Hobart get away with one there, but Cameron Merriman on the move up into second. Michael Heilman goes off in turns 3 and 4. No yellow will come out. That's but yeah, the hump getting into 1 here is pretty brutal if you're not careful with it. We'll go back through the field a little bit. William Hobart and Jeffrey Stewart. William Hobart was running in the top 3 for the majority of this race. Braden Eiler, though, currently gone onto the field.
He checked out of that hotel and left it behind. Let's just say that. Eiler, of course, a Pennsylvania boy, trying to show that he deserves to be out there up front at Lernerville here tonight.
Yeah, and James Edens marks his way up into the 5th spot, trying to get around Stewart for 4th, because we've only got 2 more laps to go. James Edens, though, trying to improve his starting position. But Jeffrey Stewart hanging tough, and especially for a guy that came in with no real track time, took a guess on what setup to throw, and not doing too bad for the Swindell Speed Lab driver.
Yeah, and this is a guy who really likes this place, and you'll see it throughout the night when it slicks off. He will problems for Stewart over the edge. As this racetrack slicks off, Edens will be a lane off the top in turns 3 and 4, and on the bottom to middle in 1 and 2, as Braden Eiler takes the checkered flag and wins tonight's B main. Cameron Merriman in second, third place to Andrew May, and James Edens coming home in 4th. So that means it will be a 16th place starting position for James Edens, and you can bet that he will be coming forward in this race. As we said, the driver that won the World of Outlaws iRacing Pro Series race here at Lernerville, making his way into tonight's feature. Long way to go, but he will be coming forward as well, along with Braden Eiler and Cameron Merriman, who were able to secure the 13th and 14th place starting positions, respectively.
Well, and we'll take a quick look while they're doing the dash draw to see where those guys will be starting in that. A lot different weather conditions than we saw. Last week was a hurricane over in Weedsport. There was 20-mile-an-hour winds gusting up to 25 miles an hour. Today, just pretty calm, 63 degrees, not a ton of humidity. So a lot better off for these guys now than it was. But we're really, for the racing we've had tonight, it's absolutely phenomenal. Braden Eiler is going to be fun to watch coming from that 13th starting position. To walk the dog on Cameron Merriman like that, and the rest of that field, truthfully, is pretty stout. Him and Cameron coming through the field is going to be a lot of fun to watch. Same with James Edens as well. So really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. The hard luck award for the night, though, hands down, Rusty Kruger. He went from a dash starting spot at worst, 7th in the feature, to pretty well the deep of the field. Jay Weigel's asking in chat, when is the Grove? The Grove is next week. So that is going to be another good one.
Pennsylvania swing there.
Yeah, we got a little Pennsylvania swing before we get heading west into Ohio. So got a few really good racetracks coming up. Should be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun.
I'd love to hear Rusty Kruger and how he feels about Kevin Click right now, because I believe that was last lap contact that put him into the B, and then problems in the B sent him to the back. So his starting position has changed a lot, and I have a feeling there's one driver he's blaming at the moment.
Yeah, that's one of those unfortunate things. It looks like the dash is rolling or getting ready to roll. Tyson Landis, let's see, Tyson Landis, Cole Cabre, Dan Zagers, and John Batista so far out there. Kevin Click
and ladies and gentlemen, the man that drew the pole for tonight's dash is the 9 of Dustin Griffiths.
Oh boy, Dustin Griffiths, who we normally would be seeing, or the last 3 weeks we've been seeing him in the D and the C. So Dustin Griffiths going from the outhouse to the pole of the dash. So good job to Dustin, Dan Zagers, Kevin Click, Tyson Landis, John Batista, and Cole Cabre rounding out your field. We're going to go green. We've seen a lot of good dashes so far. Let's see if we're going to get another one. 6 cars, 6 laps, sets your front 3 rows.
Elbows up, Sim Sport front row there as Griffiths gets out to the early lead. Kevin Click going to put a slide job on Daniel Zegers, but Zegers not going away, and they're 3 wide behind him. Contact. Chase Cabre runs into the back of Zegers, who is upside down. Tyson Landis off the track there to the outside of turn 3, and we go caution.
I must say,
lap number 1.
From Dan, we're going to go back and watch this in instant replay. This was probably the most legitimate-looking iRacing flip I've ever seen. If this wreck actually happens in real life, this is how the car turns over. Just kind of pirouettes and off into the crabgrass he goes. So, unfortunate turn of events. We'll go on board with Zagers here before we go back green. And runneth overeth.
That was one of those deals. I think he got into the corner in the slick, and that slowed him down enough to where the drivers behind him just did not expect that at all.
Yeah, these cars scrub a lot of speed. The way that you look at the wings, as soon as they break sideways, they're killing speed. So whenever you're killing speed like that, the guy behind doesn't have a lot of time to react. Chain reaction, one of those unfortunate things. But Dan Zegers still rolling around the racetrack right now. Tore up nose wing, but he's going to see what he can do to try to improve positions a little bit. But it looks like we're going to have a complete restart.
Yep. So we're going to get everybody lined up side by side once more. We're going to have Zegers on the inside of the final row, Chase Cabre on the outside. I don't know if that means that we're penalizing Cabre as the guy down there, but I'm sure Cabre would rather have the outside lane either way. I don't really think that crash was necessarily his fault. Cabré, of course, one of the top drivers on the simulation. So we're going to go green once more here with the dash, 6 laps. God knows we'll lose track of what lap they're on, but they're going green this time.
So that's Dustin with a heck of a start. Kevin
Much
Click,
better start for Griffiths this time.
yeah, Click gets a little ooh, and Batista hits a slick spot off of 2. Real big time. Tyson Landis came to play.
Landis right there in the middle of the racetrack off of turn number 2. It's going to give Batista a shot up the inside. You see Griffiths working that high side, but he slipped just a little bit that time. Ooh, Batista, ow! He got in there really well. Griffiths wanted the low line as well, and those 2 cars nearly had a little meeting off of turn number 2. Once again, this time Batista, oh my goodness, yeah. Landis, ouch. Oh man.
We're gonna need a medic down by the boats off of turn number 2. That
yeah.
we'll go back and watch that in replay here to see exactly what happened. Kind of already have an idea. We'll take a peek though and see. John Batista goes in on the bottom, and well, I don't. Poor Tyson Landis.
He did nothing wrong. Never harmed anybody in his life, and he is gonzy.
Let's go on board with Tyson Landis to see how far he flew.
Hold on to your butts.
And just, oh, there she goes.
Oh my goodness.
And the motor stuck, the motor blew up on impact.
He's on track. The man is on track, smoking all the way.
And,
yeah, the one imposter has been yeeted.
Yeah, John Batista to the tail of the field. You see Tyson Landis is currently fogging out. I shouldn't be laughing, but listen. Tyson Landis is out there making sure there is no more skeeters left in Western Pennsylvania. John Batista is sent to the tail for a little bit of aggressive driving that gives Cole Cabré the lead of the dash.
And somehow the only driver that we don't have is Kevin Click, who we did not see crash.
Yeah, Kevin Click went off of turn 1 and 2. Yeah.
Can we just say, and we're going to go back to green here, can we just say, we saw that a lap before. Dustin Griffiths is not getting into turn 1 as well as John Batista. Batista got that really great entry and was able to get in front of Griffiths, but Griffiths had no freaking idea that was going to happen. So I don't think you really place any blame on John Batista there. He was just
I don't think it was
really getting into turn 1 well.
Yeah, he gets in on the bottom really, really good about every racetrack that we go to. So
strangely enough, he has given up on that line here as we get back to green. No freaking clue what lap we're on. I'm
got
guessing
a feeling this is the white flag lap.
That's what I was thinking as well. So it looks like Cole Cabré is going to win the dash. Dustin Griffith's going to finish in second. John Batista in third. They will line up in that order here on the backstretch.
What? I still can't get over Landis's. It did absolutely nothing wrong. If anybody plays Among Us, Jeffrey Stewart in chat says Tyson was very sus and has been yeeted.
I need somebody to take that footage that we had of the in-car of Tyson Landis, and I want you to put the Dukes of Hazzard horn on that as he is making his way off the banking. Somebody do that for me just for fun, please.
And post it to Twitter, Facebook. Make sure to tag us in it. Well, we've had, this is the 5th race of the DRT. We've had 5 exciting dashes for all different reasons. And yeah, that was rather impressive. So we're getting ready to line the feature up for this evening. So Oh boy, hopefully Tyson Landis is a chiropractor back there, because that was
Yeah, he's gonna need Dr. Terry Trammell, to be honest with you.
yeah, that's one of those Jack Hewitt instances where they're like, well, at least the guy went quick.
Hey, you still got your halo from last time, Jack?
Oh, that what was it? Trammell, he wrote about it in his book Jack Hewitt, while we're waiting for the dash, was talking about his last injury, or his first injury that was pretty severe, and Trammell and a couple of his colleagues, they were looking at it, and Trammell was the only one that knew the situation, and they all looked at the X-ray and said, "Well, at least the guy didn't feel anything. He went quick." And and Trammell had to break the news to him that was like, "Nope, he's actually getting ready to run a sprint car tonight." So, yeah, Trammell, what a if you don't know the name, pioneer, truthfully, of safety.
Yeah, this
with
would
the Indy
be
Racing League in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He
this would be
literally
the guy.
could put Humpty Dumpty back together again.
Yeah, let's see. Laundry list of Stan Fox, Alex Zanardi, Davey Hamilton, a lot of them.
Yeah, basically, if you got into an IndyCar wreck since the late '80s, you pretty much got fixed up by Trammell. But we're getting ready to go here, 30 laps.
Good news is on Hewitt, he got hurt so much he got a bulk discount on those halos.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part. We love Jack, and glad to see him still wheeling the two-seater around every once in a while. So fun to see. Your starting grid will be changing quite a bit, but here's your starters for the feature event. Kevin Click will roll off 6th in the feature. Tyson Landis, I believe, in 5th. John Batista is actually in his spot in 3rd. Griffiths in 2nd as well. Weston Newell and Kevin Click will move towards the rear of the field. Dan Zagers will move up a little bit. Jeremy Zarfos in 8th. Craig Dunn, George Wood, Michael Sheridan, Corey Pritchett, Braden Eiler, Cameron Merriman. They will start 13th and 14th, so we'll be keeping an eye on them as we go through this race. Andrew May, James Eden's another one coming from the rear of the field. Mark Broderick, Tough Luck Rusty Kruger from Loomis, California. He will be rolling off in 18th. William Hobart, Jason Randolph, William Rocky, Jeffrey Stewart, and Michael Sheridan. All 23 cars making the call. 30 wild laps around here, so this should be fun.
We're in for a fun one for sure, and I'm sure we're going to have more guys going over the berm, but we're also going to have multiple racing grooves. We're going to have guys on the top, bottom, and middle, and guys charging from the back as well.
Yeah.
Cole Cabre on the pole, former Swindell Speed Lab driver, now working with a different team, trying to make his way into the DRT winner circle here in the Keystone Clash. 30 laps in Lernerville underway. Great start for Cabre. Griffiths under fire behind him from John Batista, who is utilizing that low line once more, and he has the position down the backstretch. Caution is out.
Oh, no.
I know, man. I think we need to start putting like an age limit on.
Oh, no.
You know?
We're going to go back and watch an instant replay as we're going to watch the restart from, you guessed it, Rusty Kruger's vantage point.
You're kidding me.
Rusty Kruger gets in on the top, no fault of his own. And he got hit by Hobart and then Randolph. The nightmare continues for Rusty Kruger, unfortunately.
You know, and I know just the wording, hit by Hobart, but honestly, I think those boys came together. I think Kruger was coming down the track as well, and my cameras aren't working real good for me, but I get that chase cam in.
And we're going to be going double file restart for the restart since it was on the opening lap. But
yeah, I think I just running out of racetrack there for those two guys. Both of them wanting the same piece of real estate, and obviously only one can have it. But more problems for Rusty Kruger, who has had a very rough evening here tonight. Cole Newhofen in the chat, is the Keystone Clash named so because Keystone is your favorite beer? And I would say that is a definite negative.
Yeah, that is we're not those. No, I'm not a fan. It's Keystone State. So the Keystone Clash goes green once again. Cabray with another good jump.
Well, he's using that inside berm, and it is just getting that thing to bite. Now the Griffiths now coming back at Batista here into turn number 3. We see these drivers fan out, trying different lines. Griffiths, Landis, oh my gosh, all kinds of problems. Griffiths is going to get off the gas and out of the way to not create more issues there as those guys sort out, but that costs him a lot of positions as he goes to the back of the field, now in contact with Mr. Rusty Kruger.
Well, and while we're watching John Batista and Cole Cabray, your 12th starter, Braden Eiler, already up into the 4th spot, chasing down Zagers as he moves around Kevin Click.
I would have to say that this man is on a mission, and caution is out.
And it looks like we might be for... We'll go back and take a look at instant replay.
Okay, it's a couple of incidents. But the first guy that I hit is Rusty Kruger, and I'll be damned if he wasn't involved.
Oh, boy. What
a little peek behind the curtain here. It's sometimes hard to figure out who causes the cautions, and you hit certain buttons to try and figure it out, do a little detective work. So, just with the amount of luck that he's had, I hit Rusty Kruger just just as a guess. And it worked out. But really the main problem here, Jeffrey Stewart coming together with the 9 of Dustin Griffith's teammates, with Stewart getting the worst of it, landing in the center of turns 1 and 2. As we said, also involved Andrew May and Rusty Kruger. May getting turned around backwards. Interesting to see if he will be determined as the cause of the caution. Maybe he gets some positions back. Not sure.
Yeah, we will see Stephen Hill in the chat before they wave off the green, getting the lineup reset after a little bit of wild action. There. We'll go Stephen Hill asking, what kind of beer am I drinking for the Dusick and why is it Keystone Ice? It is not. If you guys aren't aware, there's an event that we do in over the Chili Bowl, the Dusick 600. There will be more information coming out on that soon. Probably have a couple of cars actually displaying that here in the next few weeks. But a charity event for Riley Children's Hospital. We started doing it last year, raised a few $1,000s for them. So looking forward to that as well. And it will not be Keystone Ice, but we are getting ready to go back to green here with
Cabray, Batista, and Zegers, your top 3. We will be working lap 6 here as we get back to green. But the story might be the man sitting in 4th. In the 5 car, Braden Eiler. We're going to watch him as this race continues to unfold. Cabray, Batista, and Eiler to the top side of the racetrack. Eiler has made his way around teammate Zegers and sets his sights on the 54 of John Batista. Braden Eiler, so far, unwilling to be denied. And we'll see if he can do work here with the top 2 who are threading the needle on that cushion, Billy.
Yeah, and John Batista is putting all sorts of pressure on Cabray. The tricky part about this racetrack is, as we go yellow, but the tricky part of this racetrack is if you're so much faster than the guy in front of you on the cushion, it's very hard to break your rhythm here. I self-admittedly did it at another league race. I led 29 and 3/4 laps and threw it all away, just because got in behind a lap car and lost that rhythm. So Batista really has to be mindful. Batista has to be extremely mindful about what happens to him getting into the corner, because if you don't get in good enough, it can shoot you over the bank. It can spin you out to the infield. Eiler playing a little bit of mind games up front so far, but
so this caution coming into play because we had a little bit of a schmozzle with Pritchett and Edens getting crossed up out of turn 4, which sent Broderick off of the throttle and Dustin Griffiths into the back of the 51 car. So that is the reason for the caution. A little hard to find there for just a moment, but the story is what it is. You know, we've got a Cameron Merriman who has made his way up to the 6th spot. And I'm trying to get a lock on where Edens is. Looks like he is 5 cars behind Merriman. He's got the 57 of Craig Dunn in front of him, who has no front wing on that car. So issues for Craig Dunn. It's going to be really tough for him as we continue here in this race. Working lap 9, we are back to green. Cole Cabre once again putting together one of those fantastic starts, getting a couple car links on John Batista, who is now sucking in on that rear bumper. Batista, of course, a World of Outlaws Pro Series driver last season around, and ran pretty good at Lernerville, but actually I believe it was turn 4 that bit him in the pro race.
Yeah, top 3 currently running away from the field. Zagers and Merriman trying to keep pace. But the top 3 were World of Outlaw Pro Series drivers. One of them, I believe actually 2 are still locked in. With Mr. Cabre, John Batista in a very good spot as he goes to the bottom.
Well, Merriman still has his license as well, and he's worked his way into 4th. Ooh, Batista, just barely over the berm there. He's going to give way to Eiler, but hold on to the 3rd spot. Now under fire from Cameron Merriman, who's going to put the big slider in. Can he catch the berm? Yes, he can. Billy, how long before this top side goes away? Because it is so thin right now.
Well, and that's the tricky part about this place, and there's the yellow.
Ooh, car around! Right in front of the leaders. They both made it through. Looks like that car got off the track as well. It was a white car. No idea who it was, but I'm sure we can put it together here in just a moment.
Would that be... We'll see if we can find it on instant replay here. I am not seeing it.
I'm old, but I'm not seeing things that aren't there old.
Yeah, I'm not to that age yet either. So, definitely not to that age yet. But so we'll have to take a peek at those after the racing event is over. But
it's October, man. We could be seeing spirits though. I mean, I don't know if anybody's been checking out Netflix, but like they got a couple of shows on there. Like what was it? The Haunting of Bly Manor, dude. Like that's some good stuff.
Well, and while we're on the DRT Catchment's Pearl Cage Cam or Speed Cam, use code DRT at checkout, 10% off. He's got some really cool stuff coming. Actually, he's got some great shirts out right now, so be sure to check that out as we're getting ready to go back green with Cabre, your leader once again.
Lap 15 going to be the revolution that we are on, so very nearly halfway. Cabre now has Eiler and Merriman, 2 of the best in the business, on his bumper.
Ready, green flag.
See if he can get another one of those great starts. He does. He has patented that little move to get him bite off of turn number 4, and it is working well so far. Merriman holding off John Batista right now. Daniel Zegers holding firm there in that top 5. Strong run from Daniel right now, but he is under fire from Kevin Click and James Edens, who is charging forward. As this track gets slicker, James Edens will get better. I guarantee it.
Yeah, the bottom side is starting to come in. He's running the middle down in 1 and 2, the extreme bottom in 3 and 4. So, and he's moving around Kevin Click, move him into the 6th spot so far, trying to get on Zegers.
Edens using that line that Cabré was using on the restarts, except he's at full speed here and making it work. So these drivers out front, they definitely do not want a yellow flag to fall again to give Edens a reset and a shot at them on the restart. It is Cabré, Eiler, and Merriman, your top 3, and those boys can be covered with a blanket off of turn number 4. They are looking at lap traffic, and that is fast lap traffic as well. Weston Newell was in 5th spot in this race, but somehow had an issue that has sent him back. He will be the car directly ahead of Cabré, but Newell goes over the berm. And keep track of that. The middle of 1 and 2 is where he went over. That means that these guys might be in more danger of having issues there. Let's watch them as they go back through turns 1 and 2. Everybody right there on the line, able to tow it successfully.
We'll go on board with Merriman here to listen to the throttle control off the corners. So light on the throttle. Trying to keep the right rear up into the moisture, but Braden Eiler.
Caution.
Oh, right as Braden makes his move, the yellow comes out and saves the 23 car of Cabré.
Craig Dunn is the man bringing out the caution. He had contact with Rusty Kruger.
Oh. Oh, no.
Oh, my God, Rusty, I love you. It's you just got to call that a slam bang night there.
Yeah.
I bet you Rusty's going to land an EOL penalty on that one. And I think Rusty had made his way into the top 10 as well. Things are sorting through. I'm not sure where he was, but I guarantee you he'll be hit with a penalty on that one, even though I'm sure. And honestly, it looked like netcode to me.
Yeah.
But
What?
the nightmare for Rusty Kruger continuing.
Oh, boy. What? That's definitely not the night Rusty wants.
Where's
Rusty's-
Harry Hogg telling him to get out there and hit that pace truck?
Rusty Kruger currently in the 11th spot, so he has moved his way through the field. We're on 1 to green, so we're not hearing anything from race control, so must have been a netcode issue or
I definitely feel like it was. I'm kind of surprised that we didn't see a penalty anyway, but I do. I think there was a lot of netcode involved there. So Cabré, Eiler, Merriman resetting once again. We saw Eiler make a slide job move on Cabré before that caution came out. Can he replicate it there as we go back green, working lap 24?
Trying to get his momentum built up on the top, but here comes Batista. Batista back on the rear bumper of Merriman.
And Edens, your top 5. Ladies and gentlemen, the top 5, all World of Outlaws iRacing pros, the best in the business, doing what they do best at Lernerville on the edge of this racetrack. None better right here than your top 5, and Cole Cabré is pacing these guys right now. He's not put a wheel wrong. Winner of the dash, able to put in 26 successful revolutions around this race course, but Braden Eiler just wants one shot at the race lead. He's got one right here. Slide job is in. Eiler, Cabré able to pull the over under. That brings Merriman into the picture. Merriman with the slide job to the outside of turn 2. Cabré gets by him, but Eiler cannot. And now Cabré just barely on that cushion. Wow! This race is heating up. Merriman around Eiler. Eiler goes to the bottom side of the racetrack. Cabré with a little slip off of turn 2. He's going to be looking at the white flag here coming off the final corner.
Oh,
Caution, no! Oh, don't give me a damn caution.
Oh, no. Whoa, that is not what we needed.
Oh, I wanted that one to go on. We were having a fantastic race for the lead. I don't know where that caution come out, but I bet you it's Rusty Kruger.
Let's go. He is off of the racetrack.
He's off the track. He was not the reason for the caution. So we can put that out.
Yeah, we can confirm that it was not Rusty. But you can see as they roll through there's that big hump getting into one.
Dustin Griffiths getting turned around and parked on the race course is what brings out the caution. So Dustin able to get into the A main tonight, but his A main not going how he would have liked it to.
That is twice now that Eiler has gone to throw the slide job and the yellow comes out at the most inopportune time. We're going to have one to go when we get going again. So they were coming to the white flag. When we go back green, we got a one-lap dash. So
this is well, we've seen great restarts from Cabré. We've also seen him able to make moves back on these drivers to ensure that he doesn't lose that lead as they start to put moves on him. So right now, everything is pointing towards victory here for this 23 car if he can find his way around that cushion for four more corners. Green flag is out. White flag is out. Cole Cabré on the high side has the race lead. Braden Eiler in second is under fire from Cameron Merriman. Cabré to the bottom side of the racetrack protecting his lead. Cole Cabré takes victory in the Keystone Clash. Braden Eiler and Cameron Merriman rounding out your top three.
Man, that was a hell of a race that we did not need that yellow because that was going to get interesting because I had a feeling Cameron Merriman was going to steal one.
It was getting wild, that's for sure. But with the race going how it did, your victor, Cole Cabré, after victory in the dash, leading every single lap here tonight at Lernerville in Dirt Racing Tour action. So Cabré, I'm sure we will get him in the booth here momentarily and hear a very happy driver who, as we said, recently switched teams here, going out on his own, breaking away with, I believe, Bryce Bailey also on that team as well. But, a new venture here for Cole Cabré, and quite frankly, looked pretty good right there.
Yeah, that was a pretty sporty look he had there. Led every lap, did what he had to do. He a little bit of luck, but anybody that's been involved in racing, you got to be lucky. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And he definitely had the speed to stay out front and was able to do just that. So we are going to, it looks like we've got all three in. So to Victor goes the spoils as AJ brings in Cole Cabré. Congrats on the win in the Keystone Clash, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir. Thank you. Definitely blown off racetrack there.
But you handled it quite well. It seemed like that cushion was very thin, but that car looked to be hooked up very well and really didn't put a wheel wrong for 30 laps.
Yeah, yes, sir. I mean, the top in 3 and 4, I felt like it wasn't there, and I was a little timid getting down. I had my wing trunk, so I really couldn't turn getting into, and I knew that's where Braden was able to gain on me a lot. So I figured that, the track was so slick that if he just pulled a slide job, it would take him so long to get back up to the top that I could just kind of pull down, grab the moisture down the straightaway, and take back off.
Well, first victory here in DRT racing action, but also, as we were talking about earlier, this is a new venture for you as well. Not driving for the Swindell Speed Lab team anymore. You are out working with another team. So how good does it feel to get out there for that team and take victory here?
Yeah, definitely. It's good to get their name out there. They deserve it. Max puts a lot of time into this thing, and just to get the name out there and get going. Unfortunately, my teammate Bryce Bailey wasn't able to make it out tonight, but hopefully he can next week.
Well, you've got a victory in the bag here with the DRT. We've seen you out here doing quite well so far this season. Tell us what you think you expect here coming towards the end of this season. Of course, we've got pro qualifiers and everything going on, so a lot more racing to come for you here soon. How do you feel going into it?
I feel pretty good after tonight. It put a good mindset. I've struggled the past couple weeks, just not making the shows and missing them, and just doing everything wrong as a driver. I feel like, and to be able to come out here and grab the win, it just puts a good mindset going into next week.
Well, you put on a hell of a show here tonight, my friend. A fantastic drive. Like we said, not a wheel wrong. And victory here in the Keystone Clash with the DRT. Congratulations and good luck going forward.
Thank you. I just want to give a quick shout out to Max McLaughlin Racing, David Howland, Logan Rumsey, everyone. You guys for putting on NOS energy drinks, everything. Thank you.
Congratulations. That is your winner, Cole Cabre. Let's go ahead and bring in second place here tonight. And that second place belongs to a local boy, Braden Eiler here. Second place, Braden. You started 13th in this race, so you had to charge and really work for it. But fantastic run for you here tonight.
Yeah, a little disappointing with how the yellows played out. Seemed like every time I had a opportunity to go to the lead, caution come and reset the field, and I'd reel them back in, and another yellow would come out. And we are going to have a pretty good race there between me, Cole, and Cam, and then another yellow came out, and then one lap's just hard to do anything.
Talk to us about that racetrack itself, because the cushion was extremely thin. We started to see some other lines coming in, but definitely tough to venture out when you guys were running so well on the top.
Yeah, it was pretty much just topside the whole time. I was a little loose out of 2, and I was also, whenever I hit it right, I'd get really good runs. But there at that very end, I was kind of just getting impatient. I didn't want to sit around, and I kind of went to that very bottom groove out of 2. And if you wait on that and get on the gas at the right time, you'll get some really good grip. But right when I found that was kind of where the yellows came out, and didn't really have much time to be able to put it to use.
Yeah, I definitely didn't want to see that yellow there, I'm sure. Now, we were just talking to our race winner who's out with the brand new race team, new program for him. And you are in a fairly new program as well with Elbows Up SimSport. Getting ready here to kick off the World of Outlaws Pro iRacing Series. How do you feel about how you're running right now and your program going into that, as you are automatically qualified for this season?
Feeling decent. I'm gonna need to run a little bit more laps here and get back in the swing of things. But hopefully, we'll do pretty good here this year, and go for pretty good point standing position.
Well, good finish here tonight. Fantastic charge from the rear of this field. Well done, Braden, and good luck going forward as we continue the DRT season.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody at Elbows Up, Just Logistics, Flow Racing, Wicked Energy, Roofco, and everybody putting this deal on.
There you have it. Second place, Braden Eiler. Let's bring in our third place finisher, Cameron Merriman. Mr. Cameron Merriman, we've been trying to get you out of the damn chat and onto the racetrack for multiple weeks. You finally do it. And maybe not exactly how you wanted the night to go, but a fantastic charge from 14th up onto the podium. How do you feel about this run here tonight?
Yeah, how about that? I ended up shooting a message over to Zane late this afternoon when I realized it was Wednesday and you guys were going to put this thing on. I always end up finding myself in you guys' chat about 45 minutes into the stream, so not quite in time to make the race. But it was cool to show up here tonight. I haven't been on Lernerville in quite some time, and I wasn't sure how the new track model with the hard pan updates were going to affect it. And in a retrospective fashion, I don't think that the bottom's quite there as much as it used to be for whatever reason. I think that the intent of the update was meant to make the bottom a bit stronger late in the session, but I would go down there in the consolation races and even early in the feature. It didn't quite feel the same. So, top ringing as usual around Lernerville, and that's fine. I've done it plenty of times and threw myself off in the heat race due to lack of experience and maybe a little too much confidence. But yeah, I don't know. That was a good feature race. I ended up miring myself way in the back, right, starting 13th or 14th in field next to Braden. and we just kind of drove up through the field as it was, and it was kind of just a game of cat and mouse there at the end. When we're all running the high side, I think we were in aggregate matching times relatively closely, so it was really just waiting for the guy in front of you to make a mistake, and then ultimately at the end it came to me sitting in the catbird seat because Braden finally decided to pull the trigger on Cole and actually make some moves, right? So once you start doing that, they're jockeying for position, they're losing time, and if I can just maintain a solid line and gain some real estate, I might have had a shot to win there. So definitely that race left a very sour taste in my mouth with the caution that came out with a lap to go. I felt like I had something in the tank to maybe pull out a victory there and certainly be able to kick Braden's ass, but didn't quite work out that way.
Well, I can tell you that the announcers felt your pain as well. I believe I was cussing as that yellow come out. We wanted to see that one go to the finish as well. But we were also riding on board with you as well. And we've talked to multiple guys about how thin that cushion was. And when we were on board with you, we got to hear that throttle control that you were having to utilize. So we just like to know, what is your secret to being one of the best sprint car drivers on this simulation? I'm sure all of us could use some tips to pick some of that up.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of people who are better than I am, but on a track where the cushion actually remains there, I feel like I give myself a fighting chance. And a lot of it has to do with just putting the car there and letting it work, and then working with the throttle. And what I mean by that is, I end up racing and talking to my dad, Curtis, all the time. And, one of the hardest lessons to teach is on a track like Lernerville where there's no exterior wall. You really just got to send the car up there and plant the right rear up on the cushion. There's no lazy and pussyfooting around with trying to send it up there shallowly with either a light slider or whatever it is. The way this cushion model works, if you can land it up there, the cushion will catch you, and then it's all just you working with oversteer and throttle input to keep the balance of the car almost completely neutral. I mean, you guys know these sprint cars go quickest if you can keep the steering wheel pretty much completely neutral and not even driving it with the steering wheel, mainly just with your right foot. So it's definitely a lot of practice. I mean, before the Pro Series last season, I think, the week before Lernerville, it was like the newest track on the circuit. I must have sat here one afternoon for like 6 hours, much to the chagrin of my wife, and just put in like 1,000 laps, because you have to send yourself off to the edge here at a place like Lernerville. If you haven't shot yourself off the turn 2 exterior, like little hump there, like at least 50 times, you're not going to learn the top. You're just not putting yourself in the position. That's a what do you call that? That's a gift that we have here in the simulation that you certainly don't have in real life, and that's completely acknowledged. But I think that's the point of a simulation. These guys in Formula One and other series gain a lot of insight from being able to put themselves in a simulated environment and really just push the car to its limits and then reel it back just a little bit. So that's kind of my treat C on how I approach it.
Well, Cameron Merriman put that car to its limits tonight and scored a third-place finish. Congratulations on your run here tonight. Good luck going forward, and good luck in the Pro Series coming up here in just a few weeks as well.
Yeah, thanks, and you guys too, and we'll chat again soon, and thanks for putting this thing on. It's always a pleasure to get in the chat and hear you guys putting the broadcast on. No matter how much you're hollering and screaming, AJ, it's always a blast.
Well, we appreciate that. Congratulations, my friend, and we will catch you hopefully next week as we get to see more of this fun DRT racing here. But that is your top 3 for tonight. Cole Cabre taking home victory in the Keystone Clash at Lernerville. Billy, we are never disappointed when it comes to the dirt racing tour action, and once again we see a fantastic battle towards the end of this race.
Yeah, that was, I think, pretty much what we expected. I know, this place does, like everybody said, it gets around the top. Sometimes the bottom comes in. Sometimes it wasn't there. We saw James Edens down there making it work, and he got to 4th doing it, and right at the end got by Batista for that 4th spot over him. So, big shakeup in the points tonight. The race was absolutely phenomenal from start to finish. So Dash was extremely entertaining. We hope Tyson's okay, but just appreciate everybody for coming out, and we'll be back next week though for Williams Grove. I know it's one of it's the place where I first ever beat Bergeron straight up. So it was in a heat race, not a feature, so don't get excited. But
fond memories.
Fond memories of when I had speed and talent. Now I just sit here and run cameras and talk to you people. So we do appreciate everybody for coming out. We got a lot of new things coming from the DRT. If you guys didn't know before, this is the first season of it. It's going to keep progressing. It's going to keep growing. So we're looking forward to the rest of this season. Pro qualifiers are still going on. Pro season's coming up. A lot of fun stuff happening. So as the racing season outdoors winds down, hopefully you guys will stay tuned in with us throughout the winter.
Next week, where are we going?
Williams Grove, man. Williams Grove.
You said Williams
Posse.
Grove. I hate Williams Grove. I just.
The Indiana boy is coming out. And,
I mean, it's cool. You get the right front picked up off the ground. You're like, wow. It is. I'm sure it'll be a great race. I'm sure we'll have fantastic action. I'm glad I'm in the booth. That's all I'm saying.
Well, and for that, we will we'll end it on that fantastic note of AJ hating on the Williams Grove Speedway, which is conveniently where we'll be next week. We're looking forward to it, and we'll be back next week, Wednesday, 9:15 Eastern. Show will be starting, and we hope to see you there.